Senator Jim Talon, former senator from Missouri, member of the Bipartisan Policy Center. And we're airing grievances, Jim Talon. Have you got any grievances to air about Dwayne? We're specifically airing grievances about Dwayne.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say that Dwayne gets the Skype wrong, but it is close to Christmas, and honesty compels me to say most often it's me getting it wrong. So, no, I don't have any grievances against Dwayne.
No, you've got, Jim, you are too nice, Senator. We know that Dwayne screws that up every single week, and I think you just got to say it because it's Festivus Day. It's an annual deal.
It's charity.
Yeah. So, Senator, I am curious if you think Lloyd Austin is going to get the waiver that is needed in order to confirm him as Secretary of Defense for President-elect Biden.
Yeah, I think he's going to get it. Jim Inhofe has said he supports it. I think at the end of the day, they'll give it to him. But I think there's going to be a lot of questions, and I hope focusing on two things. One of them is, and Tom Cotton did a great job explaining this, is there too great a weight, an overweight of uniform control in the department? And the second is, will General Austin fight for increases in the top line? Or is he going to salute and go along and say, we can do it with whatever you want to give us? If he's not prepared to fight for increases in the top line, I wouldn't vote for him, whether he's a general or not. I mean, to me, that's a deal breaker.
Now, Senator, you've done confirmation hearings. Did you ever confirm a SecDef?
No, because we had, we did. I think Gates came in during that time.
All right, so my question to you is, when a nominee comes to judiciary, they're often asked to comment on special counsels and to confirm they won't involve themselves. And they make a lot of promises like Jeff Sessions did when he was confirmed. Unfortunate promises, but they make them. Can you get the Secretary of Defense under oath and get them to commit to a top line? Can you get them to? Has that ever happened in your experience?
Well, you're certainly not forbidden from pushing them to do it. This is not a question of legality. And that's what happens when you get the Department of Justice or, of course, the courts. You get questions of the legal rules binding them. This is a question of policy. And to me, it's the most important question facing the new secretary. And I would talk to him privately, and I would tell him I'm going to bring it up publicly. Because if the secretary, it's a sad fact, if the Secretary of Defense does not fight for the top line of the budget, nobody else in the administration, or frankly in the Congress, is likely to, with a few exceptions, like Tom Cotton and Mike Gallagher and people like that. He has got to go in and fight, and particularly in the OMB. And I would push him very hard. Absolutely, they can do that.
So now let's talk about the people underneath them. What are the most important appointments that will come after General Austin to be Secretary of Defense, if indeed he gets the waiver?
Well, let's just talk about civilians, okay? I mean, generally speaking, it's the Deputy Secretary. I think obviously in part because the Deputy Secretary of Defense is an especially empowered DepSec. I mean, he really is empowered by the statutes to function as the Secretary if the Secretary wants him to. I mean, even when the Secretary is in country, for example. But also, then after that, generally the Undersecretary for Policy is considered to be number 3 in the department because that's the part of OSD that reviews battle plans and policy. So both operational and policy around the world is in that Undersecretariat. But look, they're all important. There's 6 of them, and we need good people in all of them. But if they don't have the money, it won't matter who we get.
Now, our friend Jerry Hendricks has a new book out, which I've talked about on the air. I've got the book right here, To Provide and Maintain a Navy, and I think it's superb. I mean, it's really superb. And it makes me think we need a John Lehman, a Democratic John Lehman. We need, or at least someone serving, they could be nonpartisan. It could be a Republican. We need a Secretary of the Navy in the Democratic administration of Joe Biden to push for the Navy because we have to bend towards the Navy in this new era. Any chance of getting a Lehman-like figure out of Joe Biden?
Well, I'm not going to be churlish. I was going to say, yeah, maybe by accident. But my concern, again, is that what I am hearing is they're saying, well, numbers don't really matter. Capability matters. Well, quantity has a quality of its own. And if we don't have numbers, I mean, it's not like we can take all the capabilities we need and put it in one ship. We have to have ships in Indo-PACOM. If you're talking about the services, by the way, the service secretaries are key appointments because they are the ones who have statutory control over acquisition and procurement. So we need a good Secretary of the Navy, and we need a good shipbuilder. We need somebody like Jerry Hendricks building the ships.
Well, now that brings me to the Democrats had a pretty good Secretary of the Navy in Secretary of Work. I mean, he was actually a pretty good Secretary of the Navy, better actually
He's
than
good
any of the
Secretary.
deputy sec. He was actually better than any of the Trump secnavs, and I like the guys. They just never actually sold a vision of the Navy. You think it's possible to get him back? Is he in the game again?
Well, he was a deputy secretary, and I guess he could. I don't know if he wants to go back inside. I don't think they've made the decisions yet. I mean, they're talking about it, and I haven't seen any names emerging. But we need a shipbuilder, and we need somebody who will continue with the plan that came out belatedly, but was a good plan for the Trump administration.
We need someone to sell the
Navy.
Navy. We need a layman-like figure to sell the need for a big Navy. Jim Talent, Merry Christmas to you, friend. Always a pleasure to see you, Senator. Don't go anywhere, America. Hour 3 of the Hugh Hewitt Show straight ahead.